Well, folks, Jay back again, and I'm away from Speaker's Corner. You can see the earlier ones, but they're in London 2 weeks ago. We really hammered the Muslims, so it was so good to have 300 brothers and sisters. We dominated the corner, but that was 2.5 weeks ago. And a week ago, Thursday, a week ago today, today we're talking about the 19th of June. On the 12th, Israel did something that surprised everybody. They sent some airplanes to go and shut down or try to shut down the nuclear reactors there in Iran. No one really thought that they would do it that quickly, but it looks like they did. And knowing Israel, it's kind of hard to keep your hand on what they're going to do next. That was Thursday. Iran then responded with over 200 missiles, most of which were shut down. And then the next day, they sent 100 missiles, and then it was 50 missiles, and now it's down to about 10 or 5 missiles. It seems like every day the number of missiles is decreasing while Israel is continuing its attack. Now, I don't like to usually talk about politics. I don't like to talk about warfare. I'm a pacifist, as you well know. But because this is so timely and so many people are coming to me and say, Jay, you've got to talk about what's happening in the news. Help us to understand what's going on right now in Iran and Israel. So what I've done is I've brought a new friend. In fact, Mohammed, this is the first time we've ever met. I've never met him before. I've never really talked to him before, except for what, 5 minutes as I got introduced to him. But a mutual friend wanted us to get together because Mohammed is unique. He is not only an Iranian, but he was a Muslim before he became a Christian. So I want you to introduce yourself, Mohammed, because I want to ask some questions about what's happening from your perspective, both as an Iranian and then your perspective as a Christian who has left Islam, become a Christian. What in the world is happening? I would rather trust you to explain what's going on and what you think is going to happen in the future, and also bring into your perspective what you think is happening here in the United States and what may happen, and because you kind of intimated a little in our introduction, what you may think may happen here in the United States. So, Mohammed, over to you. I'm not going to say any more. I'm going to let you go. I may jump in to ask you some other questions, but I want people to get to know you. You are really the authority on this. We're just watching from the sidelines. Help us to understand what's been going on in the last week.
Dr. Smith, thanks for having me. Thanks to your viewers. I think that is pretty much correct what you said. This is our first time we're meeting, and thank God for those mutual friends that we bring to bring the ministers, the people that somewhat has a same mission, same heart. They're bringing together and introducing to one another. Thank God for them. My name is Mohammed. I was born and raised inside Iran, in city of Tehran. I actually was trained by IRGC. I posted a picture a few years ago when we had the 10 years challenge that I think the founder of Facebook came up with it. And there was a 10 years challenge of who he was and then who he became. My 10 years challenge went viral because I posted my 10 years prior to my salvation. I was a IRGC soldier with a gun in my hand, willing to die
Explain
for.
that. Farid, most people don't know what IRGC means.
IRGC stands for Islamic Revolutionary Guard of Iran. This is the militarily that upholds this Islamic regime together, and then their goal is to export Islam to this every corner of this world. And these are the very people that organize the proxy hands of Islamic regime outside of Iran, in Syria, in Lebanon, in Yemen, in Palestine. Hamas is one of their proxies. Hezbollah is one of their proxies, and Houthis of Yemen is another proxies. Many of the protests in America, it is as a result of Islamic financing that goes into universities that come and hold the Palestinian flags, the resistance voice. It comes from outside of IRGC, the very army that I was part of. It's a terrorist organization, and I was trained by them. I wanted to die for the sake of Allah. Everything Islam was teaching, I was doing in order to please Allah. And I was 21 year old to the end of 21 year. I was almost 22 years old when my friend which we grew up together, talked to me about the Lord Jesus Christ, and he said to me, he was beaten, bruised, his precious blood was shed, and he gave up his life for your sake. Yet you don't need to do all of that. When he shared the gospel message, even now, 19 years later, when I share that, I mean, glory to God. Every hair in the back of my neck stands up and praises the Lord. In this, when I heard the gospel right after my military service, being a person willing to die in jihad, I have an uncle. I have two of my cousins. They have voluntarily gave up their life for the sake of Islam. We have a streets to our last name in where my grandparents live. My uncle's mural, if you search his name, Abul Qasim Faridi, today on Google, his mural will pop up for the life that he sacrificed. So when I heard the gospel that Jesus has sacrificed his life for me, that I don't need to do that, the veil of deception of Islam tore off my mind, and I could see the truth, and I fell on my knees. Literal language, I fell on my knees, and I begged my friend, "What do I need to do to have what you have?" And I converted in 2006, '06, inside Iran. My friend put his life in danger, absolutely. Was willing to put his life online, literal language, to share the gospel with me. And I'm grateful to him forever. And I was out of my miserable situation, and God transferred me from the kingdom of darkness, Islam, to the kingdom of His beloved Son, Christianity. And that's a little bit of my background. We're very involved in Iran, in the Iranian church, Iranian underground church. We have three print shop, underground print shop inside Iran that we pumping out thousands of tracks. We call them Father's Love Letter. It's in Farsi, and we're pumping out that in the hand of these Muslims that they have never heard about Christianity, or everything that they have heard from Christianity is wrong and Islamic propaganda. Our ministry is called Iranian Christians International. We're involved in evangelizing and discipling and baptizing these Muslims that are leaving Islam by, we call it the exodus from Islam to Christianity. It's amazing what is happening. And that's my background. That's what I'm involved in. And then if people want to find my stuff, my name is right here, Mohamad Faridi. They can search my stuff on YouTube and watch what God is doing in Middle East, especially among Muslims. Thank you.
We're gonna go ahead and put that right here. You can see it right down there. Just go ahead and copy it. Now, you have you are unique in that because of the fact that you understand intimately both sides. You've been part of the IRGC. You've also converted out of that, got converted out of Islam. You have now left Iran. You're now in the States, and so you're seeing what's happening. And now you've been going and following what's been going on in the last week. An awful lot of people are concerned, especially here in the United States. We don't want to be brought into yet another war. It seems like Israel is doing a pretty good job. I mean, they looks like there may not be something we need to be involved in because of their accuracy in their jets and the fact that they're taking out nuclear sites. They're taking out many of the scientists. I understand quite a few of the scientists have been taken out. They're taking out many of the military heads of the military, the IRGC itself. And they haven't really started on the politicians, but they're certainly taking out those people that are in charge, and they're taking out an enormous number of launchers to protect their own borders. In time, there is going to be some people are saying, is this going to create a regime change? Is that what's going on? Are we looking at regime change? What about specifically the Christian community? So if you could speak to those two issues, I think we all know what's happening in the last week. What do you think is going to happen in the next 2 weeks or the next month or even the next year?
Brother Jay, before we get there, we need to have a little bit of history how we got to this war, which happened now last week. And October 7th, 2023, Iranian militia, Hamas, goes inside. Hundreds of militia, hundreds of terrorists go inside Israel and start killing civilians. And you say, okay, is that the start? No. 46 years ago, when Islamic regime occupied Iran with force and turned a secular nation Israel loving nation. We had flight 46 years ago, 47 years ago, before this revolution. We had flight from Tehran to Tel Aviv, direct flights. Iranians weren't shouting death to America or death to Israel. Where is this hostility came from with the inception of Islamic regime? They came to Iran. This illegitimate government was installed inside Iran, and Iranians went from a very secular country to very Islamic country all of a sudden. Now Sharia was the law of the land, and for some reason, in order to worship Allah, we had to hate the Jews, we had to hate the Christians, and all of this hostility came with this regime. So Iran got really proficient, very good with proxy wars. They started pumping millions of dollars. God knows, millions of dollars of petroleum sold, natural gas of Iran and resources are sold. Now is going to Lebanon, is going to Yemen, it's going to Palestine, it's going to Syria, it's going to Iraq. And they started to poke the bear. But in October 2023, when that atrocity happened, I think Israel had enough. And systematically, Israel will start attacking the heads of this proxy war to get to the head of the octopus, as they call it. The octopus has many hands. Israel will start chopping those hands and then eventually to deal with this, with the head of the octopus that is in Tehran, in the city I was born and raised. And then Trump held him back. President Trump held Israel back because he said, we'll bring him to negotiation. And they give him 60 days. The negotiation wasn't getting anywhere. In the midst of negotiation, even yesterday, the Iranian court, the Iranian parliament burned the flag of America, burned the flag of Israel, and they said death to Israel. No matter how much from a Christian perspective, you do not want war. You do not want to be involved in another war. I totally get it. But in their perspective, in their life, what they breathe, what they live, it is to annihilate and destroy Israel. And until you don't deal with it, it's not going to go away. So Israel will start systematically attacking Hamas, the Houthis, the Hezbollah. Every heads were eliminated. The hands of this octopus were being eliminated. And eventually, after the 60 days was over, the negotiation did not get anywhere. Absolutely no. It was Iranian. If you could understand Farsi, it's my mother tongue. I watched the Iranian media. They were mocking Trump and Israel, and they were saying this. We're making fun of them at these tables. This is just going to buy us time to continue our enrichment that we have nuclear weapons. And then the 60-day was over on June 18th. Excuse me, June 11th and June 12th, the day that I came to America 13 years ago, Israel opened fire and attacked the IRGC's head. Let me put just a little bit of a subtitle in this because this is very important. Israel is not attacking Iran. Israel is attacking the occupier of Iran, the IRGC, the Islamic regime. Everyone they have eliminated, this Qasem Soleimani's, this Salami, these generals that they have been eliminated, the Iranian people are celebrating. I talk to pastors, to believers, to my family, to Iranians all over inside Iran and in diaspora, and they are celebrating because they have been liberated. They are being liberated.
Okay, let me jump in here. So what you're saying is that what is happening is actually being supported by many Iranians in
Millions of Iranians,
not
absolutely,
just Christians. You're talking about also Muslims who are in Iran.
100%. Dr. Smith, in 2020, there was a survey done. There was a group, Gaman, in Netherlands. They surveyed 50,000 Iranians inside Iran. This is in 2020. You can look it up. GAMAAN.com.org. You can look up, they studied the Iranians, how religiously they think. This is 50,000 Iranians inside Iran. They studied them, less than 1/3. They say that we're Muslims. Less than 1/3 of Iranians inside Iran, they say we're Muslims. The other thing that the one of the top cleric in the Islamic regime recently in 22 came out and said that Out of the 75,000 mosques inside Iran, 50,000 have closed their doors.
Oh,
It is amazing what is happening inside Iran. This regime has no backing of its people.
okay. Now you're
It's
saying
over.
this, Mohammed, because there are no democratic votes. You don't have a democratic system where one man, one vote exists. So there's no way for the regime to actually get a popular mandate. It looks like it is not a popular mandate. This is nothing more than an imposed mandate. But those are figures I've not heard before. Out of 75,000, only 50 or 50,000 have closed their doors.
Yes, they
Talking
don't
about
have
only
customers.
25,000 that exist anymore.
Yes, just look, please, fact check me by Prophet Google or ChatGPT. Everything I'm saying, just fact check me. It is going to show up.
Wow. Okay. Now, that's people who are no longer Muslim. I assume a good proportion of them would be Christian. Am I correct?
Not yet. Iranians are very open to Christianity. Within our ministry, we take trips to Middle East and we go to neighboring countries where Iranians come out for their Persian New Year. We walk the streets of neighboring countries of Iran. Brother Jay, this past March, the last 2 weeks of March is the Iranian New Year. The turning of the spring is the Persian New Year, Nowruz. And we go on the streets, we backpack Bibles, hand out New Testaments by thousands to Iranians, and we'll talk to them. In 2 weeks, we had 680 Muslims give their heart to the Lord.
Oh,
This is amazing revival that is happening inside Iran. The first thing is for a Muslim to leave Islam. Islam has the idol of Islam, that Islam is perfect, Islam is complete, Islam is peaceful, Islam is blah blah. This has to be broken in their mind. And in the mind of Iranians, this has already have been done. Their discontent and disillusion with Islam has no answers. Persians, Iranians, many people ask me why Iranians leave Islam and they're become agnostic, atheist, Zoroastrian, or Christians. It is because in order to be a Muslim, you have to be an Arab. You're not Muslimized. You're not Islamicized. You're Arabized. You
mm,
have to worship Allah in Arabic. You have to face Mecca. You have to go to Mecca for pilgrimage. Everything is in Arabic. Persians say we are Persians. We have nothing in this foreign religion.
yeah,
It's not nothing of it. It has anything with our culture.
yeah.
They didn't know before the revolution, before they start practicing Islam. They didn't know that. They thought Islam is cute, like the people in Europe that they think Islam is cute. But Iranians, when they started to be forced to practice Islam, when it's Ramadan, if you break the fast, they beat you up, 80 lashes on the streets. They take your shirt off, uh, tie you to a tree or a pole in on the streets of in public in Tehran, and they lash you in front of people 80 times because they want to force you to this paradise. We have exhibitions of hell in Tehran that the hell is looking like this. You shouldn't go there, and if you don't want to, and if even you want to go there, we don't let you to go there. And when Iranians started practicing Islam, they said we don't have anything in common with Islam.
Mhm.
So they became very discontent, disillusioned with it. And now they're turning away from Islam. The idol has been broken and the void is being filled by Christianity. So
Right.
many of them are converting.
Because Christianity does offer you a belief in God. Christianity does offer you a belief in heaven and hell. Christianity does offer you idea of revelation, which Islam shares, but not the same God, not the same heaven and hell, and certainly not the same revelation. So you've come home. I always say this, you've come home to Christianity. You now are my brother in Christ. And your culture, which you can now live and you can enjoy, is adopted by Christianity because the great thing about Christianity, it incarnates into every culture and it does not demand that you have a certain dress code or a certain hygiene or a certain food that you have to eat. You can eat anything, wear anything, as long as you're modest. And you don't have to pray in one direction. You can pray in any direction because God is everywhere.
One direction, one language, brother, that is separated from your understanding.
Yeah,
In order to pray, you don't need to understand as a Muslim what to pray. They just give you this chapter, and then you repeat it.
yeah,
And I know the meaning. No, you don't need to know the meaning.
yeah. You can
That
pray
is the point of it.
about anything at any time, in any direction, in any language, and
As a
God will
Christian, you
answer
can
your
pray.
prayer, unlike Islam, where it is a function, it is nothing more than a formula to show your obedience.
And
Okay.
then you don't need the Islamic cleric in the midst of you that they're holier than you, that you need in order to go to Allah, you need to go to them.
Yeah.
First of all,
Yeah.
you can have a relationship with Allah. It's blasphemy in Islam. You're an unclean, unholy Muslim, slave of Allah that needs to work for him and die for him. And whatever the clergy says is Allah, what is Allah says. But the clergy says something and does something else. And then you see the hypocrisy. And but if you question the clergy, you're questioning Allah. And then you're a mufsid fil ars, meaning now you are committing discord against Islam.
Mohammed,
And
I'm going to
now
have to
you're
bring
going
you
to do
back
that.
and do some more of this. I love this back and forth, and you're so clear and so simple, and you're making it so easy. Let's get out, and we do want to bring it down to a close, but I want you to now put your futuristic cap on. As an Iranian, looking at the future, we've only been 1 week into this war. Try to help me the next week and the next month and the next year. Where do you think is this going to happen? I'm asking you to be prophetic. You don't worry. We may come up in a year from now and say, let's see how wrong you were, or let's see how right you were.
Yes.
But try as best from everything you know, because I try to do this and I'll get a lot of things wrong. You, however, are much better informed. Where do you think this is all going?
The Islamic regime of Iran is going to be removed. Israel knows this. If they get rid of the centrifuges, they get rid of the bases, if you do not get rid of the ideology of annihilation and destruction of Israel, you can destroy these bases, army bases, missiles, and all that. But if you do not get rid of the people who are ushering these things, this will relapse and come back and is going to be stronger. And Israel does not want that. And then also, I want to mention this one thing. As much as the Israelis want this regime and this hostility to go away, the Iranian people also want it to go away.
Yeah.
The Iranian believer and non-believer, they are sick and tired. Their spirits have been wounded by this regime. They don't want to sell gas, natural gas and natural the oil and petroleum and all of these resources out to go to terrorism.
Yeah.
Iranian culture is hospitality, not hostility. Hostility comes with Islam, and this regime will fall by the grace of God. And mark my word, and will have a much better thank to Israel starting it. And Iranian believers and Iranians are praying that they do not stop, they do not give up. But I tell you, this regime will fall and will be humiliated. Also, this ideology of Islamic hostility toward the Jews and the West is going to be humiliated. Iran will be a free nation. We're calling it the South Korea, a mission sending nation in the heart of Middle East.
Okay, from your lips to God's ears, did you all hear that? We heard it from Muhammad. Iran is going to be the South Korea of the future. We all know that the South Koreans have the second largest mission organization after the United States. They're the new ones on the block who are sending missionaries all over the world. Wouldn't that be great? In fact, you're saying it is going to happen. Your
It
lips
is
are, you
happening,
said it,
brother.
that it is going to happen, that Iran is going to be the sending nation for Christianity all over the Muslim world
The
and beyond.
best workers, brother, the best Muslim workers, the best South Koreans don't understand Islam. Americans don't understand Islam. People of the West do not understand Islam to some degrees. But a former Muslim, an ex-Muslim
Yeah,
who has converted to Christianity, you cannot discredit him.
no.
I was in a rally. Let me tell you this one. This is what God spoke to me so clear. This is what He said. I was in a rally. I was wearing the flag of Israel. I have two other ex-Muslim with me, and then this Jewish rabbi was, with his wishful thinking, was saying that if only these Muslim terrorists put their guns down, it's going to be peace and kumbaya. And this ex-Muslims with me, they're like, how naive and how gullible are you to say even stuff like that? They were insulted. This ex-Muslim being insulted. As I'm in the rally, the people are shouting there, and I'm in the midst of all of this. And in the midst of this chaos, God spoke to me. This is what He said: the antidote to the poison of Islam are ex-Muslims.
Yeah. Well, that's why we want you on board. That's why we want you to speak. I can sit there till the cows come home and no one's going to listen to me. But you, because of the fact you've been there, you've done it, you understand it intimately, because you have actually been a part of it. Now you've come home. You have come home to Jesus Christ. God bless you. This has been great to be able to talk to you, Mohammed. We're going to bring you on board some more if you don't mind, because I like the way you think. I like where you've come from. You are a good communicator. This is your second language, or maybe your third or fourth language, yet you can speak English as good as the best of us. And the fact that you have a heart for Jesus Christ. And we all want to make sure that that is the answer for Islam. That is the answer for Iran. It looks like you know that, and you see that that may be the future. Wouldn't that be great if what you've said today, and I'm sure you said it before, that becomes fulfilled as the prophecy? Iran, a Christian sending mission or country that's going to galvanize the rest of the Muslim world. What a way to go out on. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Appreciate you.
It's been
God
great
bless you.
having you on board. Until next time, this is Jay here on the East Coast and Mohammed over on another part of America. The two of us standing together. We want to see Iran brought home. We want to see the Muslims of Iran brought home. We want to see the Iranians brought home, as Mohamad Faridi has done. God bless you. This is Jay and Mohammed over and out.